Coming back at you with another lesson. Bro, it don't stop. You know, hey, listen. Wisdom is, what's the word? Wisdom doesn't have an expiration date. But guess what? Wisdom doesn't have an expiration date, but witchcraft does. That's what you got to understand. And you know, there's things I've been thinking about. We're going to bring this out. You know, when you watch these movies and scary movies and so forth, what do they teach you? They teach you to fear devil, fear the darkness. You're scared of the darkness and witches. Bro, you're not supposed to be scared of those things, especially if you're in the truth, especially if you have Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai gave these men a certain level of authority over demons, over witches. Okay, I want to speak up on this topic because sometimes we give the enemy, the devil, too much credit. And what does he work upon? Your mind, fear, doubt. Same thing witches work upon, fear, doubt, right? Emotional manipulation. These are all just tactics of the enemy. Enchantments. We're going to go to this, Lord, and it's going to be edifying. Right? Come on now. Right? Wisdom don't have an expiry date. Witchcraft does. Because them spirits that are using these people, guess what they're doing? They're lying to these people. That's what them spirits are doing to you. They're lying to you. And when we go to Numbers, right? And 23, right? And 23, surely there is no enchantment against Jacob. Surely. No enchantment. You know what enchantment is? Enchantment is, it's a chant. It's chanting. When you're chanting something over and over and over and over again, hoping to get a result. That doesn't work with the elect. That's called magic. Right? You can chant till morning till night time. Ain't gonna change the destiny of the elect, is it? There is no enchantments against Jacob, and when it says there's no enchantments against Jacob, it's speaking about those that have woken up to this truth, right? Neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time, it shall be said of Jacob and Israel that the Heavenly Father wrought. Bro, you can wear your different color codes. You can, what else? You can gaslight, another form of witchcraft. Gaslighting. You can get out of your cars when you see me walking past or riding past. You can beep your car's horn. You could do all that, but that's all enchantment. So society, what you're going to realize when you wake up to this truth, fully wake up, is this whole society is based on witchcraft, manipulation. Pretty much. And enchantments. Right? Noise. Witches, they like to make a lot of noise as well. That's another form of witchcraft. Right? That's another form. But guess what? We're not concerned with that. Because it doesn't have that stuff doesn't have no power over us. Woo, come on. So now let's jump to, where was I? Go to Psalms. You know, before we go to Psalms, go to Luke. Right, check this out, 10. Right? We got to start having faith. I do videos upon this time from time. Now, I must say, right, what witches do, it doesn't work upon people. It works upon those that don't have Yahweh Shai, those that don't have the truth. Because if you don't have the truth, then you're going to be living a lie. And a lie is what? A spell, a trick, deceit. Right? Now, you can, of course, you can manipulate and alter certain things. Yeah, they can do that. But that doesn't stop the elect from being the elect. Right? Let's go to Luke. Right? 10. And jump straight to verse 17. And the 70 returned again with joy, saying, Lord, even the devils are subject unto us through thy name. Even the devils are subject unto us through their name. They were subject to the disciples. They are called subject. Not the other way around. Bro, the devils were not. They didn't have the apostles under subject. It was the other way around. Right? Because the apostles had the spiritual authority to cast out them demons. in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And it says, and he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven, his highest state. And that's what we're seeing happening right now, as we speak. That's why these people are bugging the hell out. Sometimes you even hear the screams, bro. Bro, I've experienced high level spiritual warfare. Sometimes you hear the screams from miles away. Screams, crying. That's spirits, man. Right, bear with me. Let me just get this umbrella. Right? Sometimes you hear the screams from far away, yelling, screams, crying out. That's called a manifestation. So how do you know you're casting out demons? Because the demons are going to reveal themselves through screaming, sometimes coughing, right? That's an expulsion of spirits. Because guess what? Demons, they're stubborn little buggers, right? They don't want to leave. So when you hear screaming and crying, that's a manifestation of casting out unclean spirits. Because remember, they want to stay hidden and they want to cause as much havoc within a person's life as possible. So when you see and hear these things, that shows you the power of Yahweh Yahushai is working. Okay? It shows you it's working. And because a lot of people think casting out demons, you have to go to someone directly and cast. Doesn't mean you have to go to them directly and cast it out. They get cast out just by your presence alone. And it says, behold, I give unto you power to tread upon serpents and scorpions. Because a lot of the people we come across, they're as what? They are serpents and scorpions. They're tricksters. Right? But Yahushua has been giving you power to tread upon them. A witch can operate as a scorpion, right? And the snake. Right? Okay. And the snake, because guess what? That word for divination is python. I always go into it at Acts 16:16. You had that little slave girl, that diviner. She had the python spirit on her, spirit of witchcraft, divination. And it was cast out through Paul. Because Paul got fed up of her. Right? This was a stubborn demonic spirit. Right? It's still in people today. You're watching your news. Guess what? Yeah, they're putting spells on most of the masses. They just don't want you to know. That's why they change the camera angles every flipping second. That's spells, man. But that's how society operates, through spells and black magic. That's how they keep people under an illusion. Okay. Luke 10. Same one. And over all the power of the enemy. So we have authority over all the power of the enemy. All of the power. Right? But what a lot of people teach you, or Satan, he has a certain level of power in the physical. Right? And even in the spiritual. But who's over that? Yahushua. He says he's given us all power over the enemy, over the adversary. Right? And it says, Baba Kishore, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Nothing. And nothing by any means shall hurt you. Right? But now if you believe, oh, Satan, he's doing this, he's doing that, and witches, they're doing this and they're harming me, then you will bring that into existence. That's why you got to be very careful. And that's why witches, I'm starting to clock certain things as well. The things they would tell you, they try to get in your head. They try to get in your head. They'll tell you things in hope that you will agree with it. Like I've done that lesson on agreement. That's all they do. Right? They tell you, they will say things to you to try to get into your subconscious, because that's witchcraft. Right? But it's easy. You don't accept it and you rebuke it in the name of Yahushua. Right? You rebuke their wickedness and their spells. They're trying to speak up on your life. Because what? Death and life are in the power of the tongue. The power of the tongue. So witches, they're trying to speak things upon our life. And guess what we do? Counsel that in the name of Yahushua, and we turn right back to sender. That's what we do. Right? They think they're slick. Or they might try to, one thing I've noticed as well, they try to drop a word upon you and quickly get out of there. That's what witches do. Right? You're done, Satan. In the power and spirit of Yahweh by Sham Yahweh Shai, you've already been defeated. Give it up. Right? Come out. Right? Oh, man. And it says, Baba Kishah, notwithstanding in this rejoice. So Yahweh Shai saying, now don't rejoice that I gave you that power to cast out demons. Okay. And it says, Baba Kishah, that the spirit, notwithstanding in this rejoice, not the spirits are subject unto you. They're subject unto you. They have to do what you say. Probably the contrary belief. But remember, they're stubborn, so they're not just going to bow down. They're stubborn. But that's where you got to exercise that level of spiritual authority and know who you are in Yahweh Shai. Because if you don't, you're just going to be taken for a long walk. And you can exercise it any time. But rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven. So that's what you want to rejoice in, that our names are written in heaven. Not so much you can cast out evil spirits, right? Because the exorcists, they tried to, but guess what? They couldn't. They failed when they tried to do that. So we've been given that same power, but it's not a thing where you go around trying to do it. You can do it without even speaking. Like I said, by your presence. Why? Because the devils fear and tremble. James 2. We can go to that, right? Is it James 2? Right. Have you ever wondered why they need so much people to keep you down? Have you ever wondered why they need to hire whole entire witch covens? Witch covens, man. Yeah, and I pray against I still pray against them. These witch covens, right? That the Lord Jehovah sends fire upon them, right? Let's go to James. Right. James 2:17. Yeah, even so faith, it had not works, it's dead, being alone. Verse 19. Don't believe there is one God. Thou doest well, fine. Right? You do as well. The devils also believe and tremble. So there's a differentiation between those that truly believe and know the name and those that just know the name. It says the devils also believe and tremble. It says that the devils also believe and tremble. So the devil trembles at this word. He trembles. So don't think we're not teaching this word and you ain't got people in high levels of society, lows of society trembling. The devil also believes and trembles. That word for tremble is shudder. Shuddering. Shuddering. Right? But what makes you different from them is that you actually have faith. Right? They believe because they have to believe because he's over them and he controls them demons. Right? Yeah, he controls them demons. Right? And that's a fact. Right? That's a fact. Right? The demons are subject to Yahweh Shai. Okay. Whether you want to believe it or not. And we're going to go into that as well. Anytime when Yahweh Shai would come on the scene, them demons would tremble. Oh yeah, and they try to fool you. Right? Oh yeah. Better get out. You know, let's try to scare him. Yeah, bro, remember, demons are intelligent. So a demon will try to scare you, but it knows if you have the authority, that demon will have to get out of there. Mm-hmm. So when we go to, let's check this out. We got something in Mark and we got something in Luke. Mm-hmm. All right, we've got something in Mark. Check this out. So this is Mark. Baba Kasha. Let's go to Mark. I know I went to this a lot. A man with an unclean spirit, and they came over against the other side of the sea unto the country of Gadarenes. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him. There met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit. Out of the tombs. What are you doing in the tombs? What are you doing around graveyards? And there's a graveyard not too far from where I am right now. What are you doing there? Graveyards, you know, bro, that's an unclean dwelling place, man. Where you know spirits are there. Spirits of the dead. And that's why he had an unclean spirit. And who had his dwelling among the tombs? So he was sleeping among tombs. And no man could bind him, so strong. No, not with chains. So he was super aggressive. Because he, right, that he had been often bound with fetters and chains. Chains for your feet, chains for your hands. And the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces. Neither could any man tame him. So this man has super strength. Them demons were giving him super strength. And always night and day. He was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones. This is in the nights, right? And day, mountains, amongst the tombs, cutting himself. Cutting himself. With stones, self-inflict him. So them demons, them unclean spirits make people do things they shouldn't do. When you hear about murder, thieving, all types of wickedness, it's unclean spirits that make people do what they do. So that unclean spirit made him cut himself with stones, right? But when he saw Yahushua far off, he ran and worshipped him and cried with a loud voice and said, "What have I to do with thee, Yahushua, the Son of the Most High God?" Right? What have I to do with thee? Okay. The Son of the Most High God. He has everything to do with the Messiah. I adjure thee by God, thou torment me not. So he said, I adjure you by the Heavenly Father, you torment me not. Them spirits, they feel, when you come around them, they feel uncomfortable, they feel tormented. And that's the truth of the matter. Right? For he said unto him, come out of the man, thou unclean spirits. He didn't mess about with him. He said, come out of the man, though unclean, because it was an unclean spirit which was operating through him. So when we see certain things, you just have to know what you're dealing with, right? Unclean spirits operating through people, right? And he asked him, what is thy name? And he answered, saying, my name is Legion. Legion's about 3,000 to 4,000 troops. So that's a lot of demons on one person. For we are many. It says we are many, right? And he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. Right? So the spirits didn't want to go out of the country. This is where you get something called territorial spirits. There's also something called territorial spirits, which certain spirits can control a region. They wanted to stay within that country, right? But they did want a vessel. Excuse me just a minute. And it says, Baba Kisha, and cried with a loud voice. Salaka, hold on. I'm moving too fast. It said he ran. But when he saw Yahushua, he ran. Afar off, he ran and worshipped him. So hold on, this is a man with an unclean spirit, a demon. He ran. This was afar off. He ran and worshipped him. So this shows you even the highest of demons worship Yahushua. They have to bow down. Right? They were shook. Right? And this explains to some of you brothers why they try to dehumanize you. But they don't want you around healing people, scaring people. You scare people. You intimidate them demons. That's what you're intimidating. Right? And it says, Baba Kisha, and it says he cried with a loud voice, right? And said, what have I to do with thee, Yahushua? Going back into it. Cried. A lot of the times you hear that crying out, right? Sometimes it seems like a squirrel, right? Torment me not. So them spirits, they don't want to be tormented. They want to be left in the vessel to do what they have to do and mess with that person's spirit. For he said unto him, come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. And what? They were legion. And now there was nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding pigs. Right? And all the devils besought him, right? Spirits, saying, send us into the swine. Send us into the swine, that we may enter into them. So remember, this man's talking, but the spirits are talking for him. So when we're talking to people, you're not talking to just, what they call it, a meat suit. You know, you're speaking to the spirit that's in that person. Right? And it says, check this out. He asked him, what is thy name? And he said, my name is Legion. And we went to that. And all the devils besought him, send us into the swine. Panic him, that we may enter into them. Why the swine? Because that's the closest thing that was unclean that they could relate to. So these spirits, they need, in order for them to inhabit, they need an unclean vessel. That's why they pick the pigs, right? And it says Baba Kishar, right? And it says, for with Yahushua gave them leave, permission, and the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine. And the herd ran violently down a steep place into the sea. So they entered into the swine and ran violently. The pigs ran into the sea. Because they even knew something that was in them wasn't right. Right? And were choked in the sea. And they that fed the swine fled and told it in the city and in the country. And they went out to see what was done. And they come to Yahushua and see him that was possessed with the devil and had the legion sitting and clothed in his right mind, and they were afraid. Right? Why were they afraid? And remember, you know when them spirits were asked to leave, they said, but just don't send us out of the country. Them same people had them, remember, don't send us out of the country. So them spirits were still in the people. They were afraid. The demons fear and tremble. So every one of your warlocks and witches, yeah, they tremble at the thought of Yahweh by Shem, Yahweh Shai. Right? That's why they give you a full smile. Right? And it says, Baba Kishar, and they saw the man and they were afraid, and they saw it, told them how it befell him that was possessed with the devil, and also concerning the swine. And they began to pray him to depart out of their coast. They were praying. They all got together and prayed for him to depart out of the coast. Why? Because they had that same legion, that same spirit upon them. And they didn't want them spirits to get cast off them. Right? And when he was coming to the ship, right? He that had been possessed with the devil prayed him that he might be with him. How about Yahushua suffered him not, but saith unto him, go home to thy friends and tell them how great things the Lord Yahushua have done for thee, and had compassion on thee. And he departed and began to publish in Decapolis how great things Yahushua had done for him, and all men did marvel. So when it comes to any type of form of witchcraft or sorcery, really, them spirits, they're subject to us. They're not over us, they're subject to us. Now, does this mean we don't get little attacks here and there? No, we get attacks, but it's not going to be to the point of where them spirits, they have control over you and they're manipulating your vessel and you don't know what's going on. That's why it says we're going to quickly shut off Ephesians 6 and 11. Put on the whole armor of the Heavenly Father, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And that word for wiles is tricks. And that word for tricks, wiles, is method. So the devil, these witches, they have tricks in forms of witchcraft and magic. But magic is, yeah, it's real if you want it to be real. That's why they tell you close your eyes and they do a little trick with the hand. That's sleight of hand. So it is magic and it's witchcraft. But that's why you got to be careful of the wiles of the devil. It's tricks, it's shenanigans. And that's what the devil uses. The devil uses those that are in the occult. those that are juiced in. And it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So we're seeing a lot of things happen, a lot of spiritual battles, but it's not the person. The person's just a meat suit being used by the enemy. Yeah. They're just being used by the enemy to do whatever they're doing. So it's not flesh and blood, it's against principalities. And principalities is archetype demons, highest level of spirits that are out there. So that's what we're against. That's the highest level. Right? So with this, I hope this was edifying. I'm going to shut off here. And until the next time, I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongs to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahweh, Bahasham Yahabashai, Bahasham Maharakah, Kwadash. Until the next time, Shalom. Shalom.